Well, here's an amazing story, and we're making no claims about it. We're just noting it because it's far outside the realm of statistical probability. In just the last month, more than a dozen food processing plants in this country have been disabled by freak events. 2 of them were hit by planes. The rest caught fire. And it's not just in the last month this has happened. This has been going on for the last year. A disproportionately large number of food processing plants have had unexplained accidents. And then there's this. A new avian virus. More than 27 million chickens and turkeys in this country have been destroyed because of a bird flu epidemic. At the same time, China's been buying up 200,000 acres at least of U.S. farmland. We're not saying all these things are connected, but we're saying their effect is the same, a threat to our food supply. What is going on here? Vince Coglianese is a radio show host in the city of Washington, D.C. We're delighted to have him tonight. Vince, thanks for coming on. Look, I'm not making any claims about this, but our job is to kind of notice patterns, and this is definitely a pattern. What do you think?
Sure. Well, it's the kind of thing that a lot of Americans are noticing, and they're wondering to themselves, why is it that upwards of at least 21 pieces of public reporting indicate that these food processing facilities have been disabled in the last year? And what stories don't we know? This is the obligation of the Biden administration to answer. So a couple of questions I would put forward to Joe Biden, and of course, he'll blame Vladimir Putin, but the real answers involve something domestic. So how many of these events have occurred? How much of the nation's food supply depends on the plants that were disabled? How much has this increased the costs of the food products that you're buying inside of your supermarket? Is Joe Biden himself even aware of this? Yes. And these are legitimate questions. Now, normally when it comes to food processing in the United States, there are 2 agencies that are responsible chiefly for overseeing them. It's USDA and FDA. Yes. Now, in USDA's case, they've noted this avian bird flu that's resulted in the destruction, the deaths of upwards of 30 million birds in the nation's food supply. But the FDA, Politico just reported within these last weeks that former commissioners are concerned that they've completely abandoned the food component to the Food and Drug Administration. In fact, these former commissioners told Politico that the drug side is where all of the resources are. It's where all of the attention is. It's where all the money is. And it's all in pushing the vaccines into people's arms, which means they're so obsessed with drugs, they've abandoned their food obligations to the United States, and the nation's food supply becomes imperiled by those actions. So whatever's happening here, there's negligence.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they've done enough for Pfizer's share price. Let's move on to protecting the population. I would say that's such a great point, and we appreciate your coming on tonight. Vince Coglianese, thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.